Welcome back, guys. We're a little bit, couple days behind on some stuff because I've been doing a lot of background work, trying to prepare myself for a video that I wanted to do, that I'm still going to do, and hopefully it's going to be the next one. But it's a big building episode, and it involves a whole lot of stuff that's involved in this awesome shop that I do not have. I need all sorts of this stuff. So what we're going to do instead, to be able to afford that, is we're going to set up some awesome sync stuff right here. I've been trying to dump stuff down the drain, but really I'm not really getting anywhere. And honestly, this place is a total mess, and it needs to be kind of revamped and fixed up before we can really kind of move forward with anything. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. We're going to be going through and cleaning up all this clutter and mess and turn this into a real factory, which is a big step for phase 2. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to go ahead and get into it. I don't know where I'm going to start, but we're going to start doing it, and then hopefully we'll make some sort of progress. We'll start to feel better about it. Now, when I say we're going to be revamping everything, I don't mean just organizing it. I've unlocked quite a bit of these in the background, just kind of doing basic stuff and a little bit of handcrafting to get some things that I need. Like mainly the Mark III belts are going to be huge, and then also basic steel production. So I have some foundries set up in like a tiny little factory all the way over there where we talked about. But it's really not all that much. It's just so we can kind of get some of the parts and get a little bit of this done. What we're going to be doing today, though, is since I've unlocked those minor Mark IIs, is we're going to revamp everything. And I mean, we're going to take off the miners and put the Mark II downs, use the Mark III belts, do all the stuff that we need to do to actually make this a real factory and get some sort of iron production out of this. Because we need more of the assembler parts and stuff like that to actually send that down the drain, because sinking concrete is pretty much getting me nothing at this point. And the main thing we're going to do is set up a nice storage system with a good overflow to send anything that gets overran to the sink. It's going to be a whole system. It should make all sense. And on top of that, we're going to make the factory look beautiful again. So a lot to do. I'm going to handcraft some of the stuff that I need for the miners, and then I will show you what we're doing here in a second. So, like, I've honestly been kind of sitting here for the last couple of days, like, putting this off, and I've been playing other games. Not because I'm bored, just because I'm a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that's kind of necessary to get all this going. This is a really big step in getting all of our factory set up and getting kind of the base game taken care of. Um, I think I'm just a little bit rusty. I think that's it. I haven't really done a whole lot of Satisfactory over the last, like, 6 months. I think I'm just kind of shaking off the rust and getting back into actually building big projects and stuff like this. Like, this is quite literally going to double our production on all the iron and everything that we have. These are going to be annoying for a second because they're going to be shutting on and off because they're producing a lot more than the belts are taking. So this is actually coming out to 120. So now we have 360 iron per minute. And on top of that, we're going to do the same thing with this copper nodes over there. So we're going to be producing quite a bit. And then we're going to organize the concrete and actually get that properly set up. So we should be getting a lot more of everything. It's just going to involve some stuff. Now, the thing being, or the problem really, is that it's going to involve us ripping out most of this and redoing how we got this set up, because I already didn't like how I set this up before, and it needs fixed for sure. So we're going to have to start tearing stuff out, and I will be right back. Alright, I'm basically just going through and pretty much mass deleting everything that we got going on back here, because this is pretty much an absolute mess. And with all this stuff going on, and this is going to be wrong, we're going to have to overclock all these miners down here. I looked at the numbers for what I'm going to need, and it came out to like almost like 500 iron per minute. And this is doing right now 360, which is pretty good. But we're just going to go ahead and swap the miners on the coal plant right now over to Mark IIs here in a second. And we're going to grab the power slugs out of there and use those to overclock these up here. And doing that should help us get to 720 iron per minute, which is usually kind of like the standard that you want to use for most kind of like setting up factories. And it's a lot of like a really basic numbers. Kind of makes things a lot easier, especially with some of the alternate recipes that we have already. It's going to be a lot easier to kind of work with that number than anything else. But the main thing is I didn't like how this floor was set up before. It was kind of bothering me. And then also on top of that, we have to rearrange where all this stuff is going anyway. So we're pretty much just taking out everything. Now I need, with the 720, I'm going to need 3 sets of 8 of these. So these are only 6. So this needs to go out 2 more. And then I'm going to have to build a whole other section as well to just kind of get all these smelters taken care of. And that's kind of what I'm trying to set up right now. So I'm going to keep tearing this stuff out, and I'll give you an update here in a second. I know it's just like my brain getting to myself, but this is a lot more when I was starting to look at this, that I'm really kind of comfortable with, and I'm gonna have to get over it because I know that it's necessary to get this really like set up nice and good. But with 8 of these bad boys stacked up here, and then we're gonna put another 8 right here, and then I still have to figure out how to fit another 8 somewhere else in this little factory that I have built so far. Yeah, this is going to start to get real interesting really soon here. So we're going to keep it all on like one smelter floor. So my plan is to still kind of do the T section. So we're going to run this down, and then we're going to run a couple across the back here, and that'll be all my like smelting floor taken care of. I've also raised the roof on this a little bit. I didn't want to do the whole thing, just like a little bit, so I could still have some use up here for some belt management and stuff like that. Maybe some wires and stuff. I can kind of just throw this right up into the ceiling and not have to worry about the backside of it all. That's the idea. We're going to see what happens. I also don't like the way that this looks. As you can see this part right here. If I had some more cosmetic choices, like maybe if I had the upside down roofs or the upside down ramps, I could kind of do like a little ramp ceiling in here. I think that would look a lot cooler. The main reason why I'm lifting it up that way is because I don't want to have to see the smoke so much through the floor, because we're kind of dealing with that up there at the top with our like not manufacturers, sorry, our assemblers and everything that we got up there. We were able to kind of see the smoke through the floor, and I want to kind of put a little bit of a distance between that and kind of what we're dealing with. So now you'll have a 4 wall or 4 meter block in between, and then you're gonna have another level up here, which is gonna be your kind of transfer level, similar to the walls and stuff that I was doing before, but now we're just doing it as a floor instead. So hopefully with all that, it should be pretty decently kind of managed, and it should be enough to kind of keep the smoke out for the next level. So that's what we're going for. You know how this works. A lot of things that I say never seem to work out, so we're gonna see what happens. And there's a good chance in like 20 minutes I'm gonna come back and say, "Oh, that was really stupid. I'm not doing that." So we're gonna keep working on it. And yeah, it's kind of nice now because with me pulling out all these machines and belts and everything, they finally stopped being just really loud in my ear. Currently, I have all the machines turned up because in the last video, everything was like kind of really quiet with like the game side of it. So I've got that turned up now, and it was like burning through my headset. But now it's nice and quiet. It's calm in here, which unfortunately also means that we're not making any progress, and we're not making parts, and that's failing humanity, and that's not good. So we're gonna keep laying this out. So I had to kind of offset this. It wasn't wanting to really line up in the center. Like if you put it here and you think it's center, it does this whole number. So I had to do the whole half, like I had to put it in a nudge and then hold control and do like the half nudge over, because otherwise it wouldn't line up correctly, which is kind of weird that you can't just place this in the middle of this like this. But either way, we got this laid down. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 3 more on this side. And then we need to do another section in the back over here, just so we got enough for our belts. And these are going to be like all of our smelters and everything, and this is quite a bit. We just have to belt all this. The only good part about this is with us having the Mark III belts now, 8 of these sections come out to 240, which means that we can easily put all this merged into one belt. And then we're going to have quite a bit of load balancing to do to kind of get to these weird numbers, especially with the cast screws being at 12.5. I believe we only need like 100. We need 150. I believe, for 12 of them, and it's just a 12 split, which isn't that bad, but the problem is the 150, which you got to be really, really load balanced out of 240. So actually, there's an easy way to do it that I just thought about. So we'll figure that out. Don't worry about that. The math will come, the math will go. It's all gonna be okay. So ideally, instead of making this just a big orange box, we can do some sort of kind of design stuff as we're kind of working through this. So we're going to do all the belts below the floor, which we talked about. And when we do that, it tends to kind of make like a cool looking pattern below, because it's all going to be organized. So we're going to run these conveyor lifts onto the center, and then we're going to run our merge lines. If I can find the merger. So your merger will go like right here, roughly. I believe that's not too close, right? That's like right on top of it. We can probably put a little half one out. And then you'll have this one, which will go right there. So then what you're going to have is you're going to have a bunch of these mergers with kind of all your iron and everything on it coming through the center of this. And then if we take like the glass foundations, then you'll be able to kind of see all this stuff going on here below the floor. And you'll have to box it off. Like you don't want to be able to see this stuff here. And maybe even like the back of it right here. So that way you can't really see the belts that aren't organized, and you still have a place to kind of do everything. And on top of that, we'll be able to kind of see this nice design on the floor, and it's kind of all out of the way as opposed to it being up here on this floor, and now we've created space so we can walk over it. Now, I still have to unlock the foundations, which kind of sucks because I don't have silica or anything like that for the crystal. But as long as we keep working and we have that in mind, when we get the thing, we can very easily come back and just tear out the foundations and stuff that we're going to place here and then do this nice little design. All right, I just want to give you kind of a quick glimpse of what it's going to look like with everything. Now, those glass foundations do have like a really thick center line, so we'll kind of break up the monotony of this right here. And if we have to, we can always come back with like, I don't know, what does this look like? Like you put a barrier down the middle of it just to kind of break it up a little bit, or if that looks dumb, kind of half and half on it. We'll have to get the foundation in there to actually kind of see what it looks like before we make some sort of distinction on it. But you can very easily kind of put a divider in here just to kind of break up the look of it. You got options. There's lots of things you can do here, but I really like what we're getting with so far. We're probably not going to do anything fancy like this in the next room just because I'm going to have a lot of belts in this section because I'm running this direction. Over here is going to be our storage system, so I know underneath here is going to have a lot of smart splitters and stuff like that to send it off to the resource sink. So I'm going to need this area, especially with all the crates and stuff that are going to go in this area. We have screws, iron rods, plates, reinforced iron plates, rotors, and we're hopefully with all this iron we're going to modular frames as well. And on top of that, I want to reroute the concrete in here and the copper. So we're going to have all that stuff plus copper sheets, wires, and cables all in this one room, which probably isn't going to be big enough. We're going to have to do some adjusting and even make this have some more room for all that stuff to go in here. That's quite a bit of stuff. We're also going to try to use sushi belts as much as possible to try to organize that and hopefully get rid of a lot of the different belts that are going to be necessary to kind of make all that work, which is like a whole nother thing. Probably going to be like maybe the next video because I've been talking and ranting about a bunch of stuff. Maybe I'll get it done today. I don't know. We're going to have to see. Maybe this will be like a 40-minute episode. And I don't know. I don't like doing the longer episodes because usually nobody watches them that long. So I'm not too set in stone on what's going to be happening today. I'm also not going to get this whole project done today because I do have to go to work here in like 40 minutes. So we're going to see what we can get done, and I'm going to stop talking about random shit and get back to work. So because I did this little half split thing with the nudge on these smelters, and then I placed them into each other, now this doesn't line up with where it's supposed to go to. So that means for all 8 of these, I got to do the little half nudge thing just to kind of get them on the right one, which is dumb, but I understand why it's like that. It's just the price you have to pay for symmetry, I guess. It is what it is. With this one, we are going to do something a little bit weird. So we were talking about doing that 150 split. So instead of placing the load balancer, I'm just going to take it right off the machine because that's going to be the easiest way to do it. So since these are all 30, that easily adds up to 150. I just need 5 of them. So we're going to merge 5, and the other 3 we're going to have 90 on. That is going to go the other direction, and then it'll kind of get mixed into however I need to do it. So it'll have these 3 right here are going to have some sort of conveyor lift. It'll probably run through the back of this, which is the smelters, which you really won't see this. So it can go like right here and go up to the next level on the back side of this is probably where it's going to go. But we're going to have to kind of see what will happen with that. Instead of trying to do a 5 split up there, which would be a nightmare, we're just going to make this work like this. So this should be decent. I just got to half nudge the rest of these. Okay, so I fell down, so I got to run back over here, but I want to give you a little update on what we've been doing. So you have your merge section down here, which is already very tight and compact, and it's nice and clean. All your right angles and everything is just very kind of packed in here, but it's nice and pretty, and that's what matters. Back here, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to manifold this, which I was talking about in the last video about trying to trust that more and, you know, getting more comfortable using it because it is a lot easier to do as opposed to kind of load balancing everything. Now, I will have to load balance some of the outputs on this, which I know how to do and I can handle that. That's not too big of a deal, but I was able to kind of place this perfectly to where if I really wanted to, I can cover this whole wall up and you wouldn't even be able to see these. So this is getting really, really tight in here and probably about as tight as I've ever had it in terms of like compactness. The only problem is I'm out of some parts for the belts. I need to get some more steel, and we're going to grab those power slugs as well. So I'm going to head over there and grab that stuff. I just want to give you an update on how we're kind of handling all this, because pretty much we have this between one foundation, two foundation, 2.5 foundations, which is really, really tight in terms of this. I could get it a little bit tighter for it to like really press this in here, and I might be able to fit this within just like 2 foundations with some like a little bit more nudging, like if I came this way, and then on top of this is out kind of out further away from this. So if I like really press this in here, I bet I could turn this around and then fit all this stuff on the inside of here, which would be insanely tight, but it would work. So maybe plans for the future. Maybe if I really got to cram something in here, or better yet, if we were to make a blueprint and put this in half sections, we can get like a little 2-meter foundation section that's got like 4 of these on there. That would be really, really cool. So I'm gonna go grab all the stuff that I need to. I just want to show you guys that. I didn't really appreciate it too much when it first came out, the whole like animal protein thing, just because I was like, why do I need to bother with any of this? But now that I have to get all these resource stuff again, like I was in the middle of the game when that came out, and I'd already unlocked a lot of the customizable in the awesome shop, so I really didn't see a point of really dealing with it outside of like getting the MAM stuff. But now that I can just throw 3 of these animal pieces into the sink and get a ticket out, like I'm actively hunting these things now, mostly just because I want to unlock customizables, which I know that it's completely not necessary, but it's like a huge help just to be able to get these like super fast. So I just wanted to like show some appreciation, because that is honestly like, oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. It's honestly really nice just to be able to you know, have a reason to do all this stuff outside of just kind of like, oh, whatever. Like it's just the combat of Satisfactory. They did a good job on it. I just wanted to say that. Okay, that legit took like probably 40 minutes to run over there and get all that stuff. But I did get all of these overclocked. They're not running right now, so they're not going to show a little blue light, but they are all set up to 200%, which is the 240 iron per minute. Now I could overclock it all the way and go to 270 and make like a full line with 9, but I have it set up for 8, and I always like using 8, and that's what we're going to stick with, and we'll save our power shards or something else. Now this is what we're going to work on next. We're going to take all this out and kind of organize the backside of this and do the same bus style that we did with that over there, and then probably the same thing over here. So that's probably going to be the last little bit that I'm going to get done before I have to go to work. I only have probably about 15 minutes or so, but we're going to bust this out really quick, and we're going to see how much we can get done. My inventory is like so full of shit right now that I can't even like pick any of this stuff up. So I'm going to have to dump all this stuff off. I've got like literally everything. I've been just so full of stuff for the last like I don't know, like 40 minutes. Pretty much I went on this adventure. I went to the steel place first, and I filled up on a lot of that stuff, and that just consumed a lot of my inventory. And then I've added like these. I need to go down there and throw and get rid of this, throw some of this stuff in there. It's just been really annoying. I've been dropping crates left and right. You can start to see there's one all the way over there. This is mantle crate that is going to bother me forever. I don't know if you remember on like our season 1 world, but we had like the update 7 came out, and it just dropped items like everywhere, like underneath the map, and then you couldn't actually get to any of them, and our entire thing was just covered with little boxes. So I know that I can go to my map and turn that off, but I'm not going to, because then I'm going to forget about it, and then it's just going to stay there forever, and I'm going to have a bunch of issues later on. Plus, with my inventory filling up, I'm dropping these little crates everywhere, and that's really starting to annoy the crap out of me. So I've got my inventory empty, though, and I should be able to pick up the rest of the stuff now. And then we're just doing the same thing we did on the other side, where we kind of turn this conveyor lift in, and then we're running this back towards the edge. If I would have ran this the other way, it was going to kind of show into the mountain, which is what I don't want. So now we can just throw another lift right here, which is kind of in the way, which isn't great. The other one could be over there, but this one can't. What are they doing down there, dude? I got a gang going on. They're just like, why is there so many of them? Sorry, I know I keep talking about it, but I'm just like in awe that this just fits just so perfectly. And the fact that the walls are thick enough to completely block all this in and not see any of it is really amazing to me. Wiring is going to be a little bit difficult, but I'm not going to use these. There is like a Tyrium node, which I'm not going to be able to see from here, but it's just on top of this little mountain right there. I'm going to use that to kind of handcraft and get some the Mark II nodes and stuff, and I'm going to go into the awesome sink and get the little wall attachment, so I don't have to use these huge poles. And then that should organize a lot of this a lot better and kind of not have to run poles. It gets a little bit tight back here. I can probably fit them in here. I just don't want to have to deal with it. We're going to lay down the last section, which is going to be right back here. And then after that, it's going to be a little jump cut for you, but for me, it's going to be like 10 hours. So I'm just going to get this done real quick, and then I got to start getting ready for work. Okay, so I was able to use a lot less than I actually needed to get this to work, but I got some extra space, and that's fine. Maybe I'll make this like a little hallway or something back here. Or I'll just take it out. I don't know. I got options. But this is all set up. It's not all set up. I gotta belt it real fast. I will do that when I get back. And I'm probably gonna go to work and completely forget that that's not belted. I just want to make this all one clip and not belt this real fast and then do what I'm about to do. So in the whole midst of kind of running around and doing all this stuff, also I want to show you this. So now you can see right here. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot. But right here, this is one of our splitters. This is our back splitter here. And then we will have one more like right here. So they're going to be nice and easy to get to. We have a the conveyor like lifts now, like this, for the floor. So that should make that a lot more organized. And we won't have to kind of just have it stuff floating like that. The last thing I did is I did find a hard drive out there. So we're going to go ahead and click on this and see what we get. Ooh, that's actually perfect. That's exactly what we need. We're gonna take that. That'll make making steel a lot better. So we got a super long laundry list of stuff that needs to get done. We have to finish this whole factory. That is my work alarm. We have to finish this factory. We have to do the copper over there. We have to fully automize our steel parts over there. We have a Caterium node right here. We also have crystal back there that needs to get automated so I can get blade runners because I'm going to lose my mind if I don't get them soon. And then on top of that, we have project parts to do. We have our building episode to do. And we also need all this stuff to kind of get done and taken care of. How many tickets do we have right now? Another 12? Okay, so we're making good progress on that. I think I need about another like 20 to really get everything that I need. But I'm going to take a quick little jump cut here, and 10 hours are going to pass. So I'll be right back. And bam, just like that, we are back in our factory, and 12 hours has passed. I know that was like 12 seconds for you, but that's the magic of time travel. So I'm going to show you off one more quick thing here before I close this up. So I've unlocked these Mark II power wall hold, the double wall outlet stuff. So this is down here. This is how we're going to hide this stuff instead of kind of doing all these poles. We've placed them under here by the splitters. And we're going to do 4 per section and then connect it to the other one right here. And these will go into all of these up here. And then that's how we're going to wire stuff. So we're going to do all this on the other side as well. We're going to get rid of this because we don't need this. So we're going to do this on all the 3 sections for the smelters. And then we're going to figure out how to connect this somewhere into here. We'll probably place another wall outlet right here. And then this will attach to the floor. And you have a nice little angle there. Well, you'll still have this wire down here, but you're never going to see this because the floor is going to be in the way. So it should be good to actually block all this in. And now this is technically finished. We just need to select the recipe and turn everything else on. So I already wired, I was showing you this side, and I've just wired the back side of this. But the cool part about this is you should be able to see, if I can slide underneath here. No, I did the single wall. Okay, that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. But ideally, we're just going to run this wire from back here all the way across. If I would have did the double wall outlet, I would have been able to see it. Actually, I don't want to do that because there's a wire there. So we're going to make this a little bit more challenging. We'll put a double wall right here and on this corner as well. And then we'll actually connect it this way. So this will get this wire out of the way, and we'll connect this into somewhere here, right there. And then this is going to run across to here. And then our last section will just be from this little node here. I could have made that a single wall because I'm wrapping it all the way around, but it doesn't matter. So that's hooked up. Now we're just going to drag this down a little bit further, and we're going to hook this up all in one relay, which I'm going to kind of explain here in a second. So I did get everything wired, but I was just coming over here, and I kind of thought about exposing this to the front because I like the way it looks. We are going to get the windows, and we're going to place it in here, and that'll kind of cover our stuff up. But for right now, we're going to kind of make do like this. So you got your little barriers kind of breaking all that up. And then you got a nice wall, so you don't have to look at the side of the foundation. And you can still kind of see all the stuff that's going to be going on underneath here. And that wire is in there. But it's well managed, so it doesn't look like it's a total mess, which is the important part. Now we kind of get a look at the back side of this, and then we're going to put a nice window right here so we can look out at all the stuff that we got going on this way, which is going to be a lot of our logistic stuff, like our highways and stuff like that. So we got a good setup for the bottom part of this. We're going to start heading up top and do some stuff up there with some constructors. While I'm down here real quick, I did see that I do have the glass foundation unlocked, so we can actually put this in here now and see what this is going to look like. Now, the glass in the pre-release looked really rough, and it looks like it's still not great. It's very, like, opaque, and it's got a lot of glare on it, which there shouldn't be a glare because there's no ceiling. So if you kind of look at it from an angle, you can see down there, but really it's just kind of like a lot. And I definitely don't like that there isn't a divider down there, so I'm going to have to kind of add something in there. And then for this section right here, we're going to put like a pseudo wall just to kind of block it off because I don't want to actually be able to see the curves and stuff going on once you pass out of this room. I'm not 1,000% sure how I feel about this. I might take it out. Also, I really wish that I would have like raised this up one, like just one foundation like this. I think that would have looked a lot better. But there's still some design stuff that we can do, little tweaks here and there. But we need to actually finish this factory. I've already recorded like 20 minutes of me rambling about, building this thing, and so far I've only finished one floor. Okay, so we're gonna have to do some wonky stuff here, but we're gonna make a little bit of an elevator with kind of missing some of the parts that I need. And the way that I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna place 3 of these guys because I know I have 3 smelter groups. Technically 4 if you count the split, but we're going to just take the main supplies right now. It should be already kind of load balanced down there, so really we're going to leave this at 3. And we're going to take each of these. If I can kind of place this last one, I'm having trouble here. And I actually need to reverse these, so I'm going to delete these 2. But that's the idea, and then we're going to kind of block all this in so you won't be able to see it. And you'll have your lifts coming up here to this level, where there's not a bunch of room to work, but we may be able to kind of do some stuff here, and then we'll kind of loop it around the back to go wherever it needs to. So we're gonna work through that, and if I can't figure it out, we'll raise it up one more, and then we'll kind of take it from there. Okay, I did some not so great clipping things, but that's why we're covering this floor, so you won't even realize it's there. We're gonna run this around. Then you're gonna take your last 3 from right here, and this will run straight into that lift. So then the last 5 you have over here is going to be going straight to the screws wherever we kind of do that. So this is going to get belted backwards, and then we'll put a lift somewhere over here to kind of get that where it needs to go to. Other than that, we have our other, what is it? This is 90, 240, 480, 510 iron that we need for all this stuff right here. We just have to figure out how we're going to handle it up top, which unfortunately means that we have to delete all this stuff up here, which is all screws, and it's going to fill my inventory and cause me a bunch of headache. Alright, I'm pretty sure that's everything. Just a couple things left behind, and it's only like half my inventory, which isn't bad at all. There's also no way I'm going to fit the amount of constructors that I'm going to need up here, so I'm going to do some expanding to kind of work this out. Okay, so we're going to start rifling through this really fast. You kind of get the idea of my build style, and I'm going for this factory in terms of organization. We're at like, I don't know, like 25 minutes, and we're going to start blasting through this. We got a lot of stuff to get through, and we're not going to get through all of it. So what we're going to do is I built this little U shape kind of around. This is the back side of all those smelters. So you have your 2 right here, 1 there, 1 underneath here, and then you have that little overhang section, and then this is the same thing back here with kind of the T crossing part right here. So we're going to run all of our belts through here, and we're going to do kind of complicated. We're going to do 14 of these constructors here. These will be iron plates. I'm not going to try to break down all the math, so we're going to do 14 up here, and then we're going to have 60 remaining at the end that are going to get kind of overflowed off to the end. And from there, those will be converted into screws, and then we're going to have a bunch of assemblers and stuff on top. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to finish this so I can get this video posted tomorrow morning, and then we're going to keep working on this project because we have a lot to do before we can kind of finish all this. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down and kind of organize a little bit, and then I will kind of give you a rough idea of how I'm doing it here in a second. So the main thing I'm trying to get here is I still want the open floor because we're not going to be able to do anything underneath here. So I need a little bit of a walkthrough or a little bit of a walkway like right here, which we should have enough if I kind of space this out well enough. The main issue is I need to fit a smelter behind this, or not a smelter. I'm sorry, a splitter behind this. We're gonna run the manifolds right behind it, and you'll have the mergers in the front of it, and then that should give you enough space to kind of walk through here, and hopefully everything should work out nice and pretty. And at the very end of this, we're gonna do some kind of load balancing stuff to get the screws figured out. I'm gonna have to make this platform like way bigger because, quite frankly, there's just not enough room up here. I'm also gonna have to rework the stairs because where they're coming out right now to the back of this is not gonna be good. I may be able to kind of do like a walk around thing, which that might work. That might actually be a good idea if I were to just have this be a hallway kind of around this whole thing. If I can work that into this somehow, which is gonna be kind of difficult, but we're gonna figure out as we go, and things are gonna be okay. There's a little bit of a trial error when it comes to putting together a factory like this. Okay, I just want to give you a quick update because it is like almost midnight, and I am just like flying through all this trying to get this somewhat accomplished. We did raise this up another one just because I have put that conveyor lift right here. I can't wedge it into here because it's going to show up like right below this is the smelters. So if I get rid of this, there's your smelter room. It's kind of hard to see. Like there's your bottom level with all your mergers and splitters and everything. Here's your smelters. So if I put this up against here, it's going to show up in the room down there, which is exactly what I don't want. So I can't put it there. So it has to go here, which unfortunately means that it can't be, you know, I can't have the walkway at this level because you're going to walk right into this, and I don't want to do that. So we've raised this up, and now you walk around and you fall, because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have Blade Runners, and you come around here and you have a nice little staircase. So at the end of this, it's going to look like this, and then if we can get that little gate doorway thing, we can put it right there, and it'd be nice and pretty. And we'll kind of make do, and we'll, you know, it's going to be just fine. We just have to finish belting it. We are going to wire this exactly the same way we did before. We're going to take our, if I can even find it. We're going to take our double wall outlet. We're going to put it right here. And then we'll connect everything that way. And then we'll do the wiring stuff and run it right down to the power room over there. It's in the corner where that's going to be. And I'll kind of show you guys that probably in the next video when we get some more of the stuff set up. We are going to very quickly finish this and try to make something here before the end of this. I went to 8. I originally said I was doing 7. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I thought that 12.5 went into 60 because it's been a long day. But let's get this finished, and let's get this, you know, down the resource sink or something so we get some points, and we can let this run tonight and maybe unlock a lot of stuff that we need down there for our next video. At this point, I'm basically just like speed building, trying to get through this. With this little end cap here, you can't put the conveyor lift right there, so you got to put a conveyor pull down, and then our Mark III belts, and then you'll have your actual conveyor lift right here. We'll turn this outwards, and then now this will run down this way and go to our second one. We're gonna have some overlapping. It's not really the end of the world. It's just like that. That'll connect to that, and then this should go right into here. So these are both your 120 lines, or your, not your 120, I'm sorry. We're on to Mark IIs. These are your 240 lines. So 240, 240, and this last one down here is your 90, which is going to fit perfectly into the amount of iron rods we're going to need to kind of make all this work. So now we need to wire it, and then we should be able to start this and let it run, and hopefully everything's okay. So let me get some wires set up. So we went through, we got all this wired on the backside here. It is a little bit more messy because it's kind of not at the level, and it's not really underneath like I would like it, kind of down there. So it's not as pretty, but it's definitely not in the way, which is the main important part. So we raise this up high enough to kind of match this level. Then we're going to put a little roof on this, and then we're going to do some cosmetic stuff here in the center aisle really fast. And I think if we really wanted to, I got to make sure here. Yeah, so this is actually, looking at this. So if we've got this below us, why not just throw this in there? And then you've got one foundation on each side, so it's not showing all the way through. It's not great. I really don't like the glare. I might install something to kind of fix this a little bit to let you look through here a little bit more, but now you can actually kind of see down to that level, which I think is a really cool addition. And now we're kind of basing it around the idea that we can look down there. I'm going to use more of these low barriers because they are pretty neat. Let me try to... I'm going to place it here and then zoom it backwards so I can actually kind of get it on the level that I want. And then all I need to do from there is get it right there, and I can zoom it all the way down. Almost. I got a little bit further to go. Throw these barriers down this way. There. And there. So now that's nice and pretty, and then we could take some of these, let's do metal beams, actually. And then every 2 of these will go up to the ceiling. Is that up to the ceiling? Yeah, just like that. I actually don't want it there. I want it further back. Is there a way to nudge these? I don't think I actually can. No, I can't. Okay, I may have to destroy these. No, see, that one's right. I don't know why this one's messed up. So let me throw these metal beams in here really fast, and then I'll see what this looks like. I like it, but it's missing something, and I think I know exactly what we need to add to it. Okay, so we got what we needed. We had to go buy it from the awesome shop, but we got what we needed. Now when you come around here and you look at this, we can take these inverted ramps right here. And this is going to kind of give it a little bit more shape. So we're going to alternate these. So in the very corners, we'll do this. 1, 2. Okay, so we have to do not 2 of them. It's like that and that. We actually might be able to do that if we want. That might be cool. But for now, we're going to leave it like this. And then we're going to take this 4 meter. And I don't really care too much that it clips. It's really just in here to kind of give it some shape. And alternating may not be the play. It may just be that we need to throw it in there. I don't know. Let's try just 4 meters for now. So it'll make it a little bit easier to place. And then it'll kind of give this room a little bit more shape as opposed to just kind of being really boxy on the outside. Let's throw all this in here. And we can always add stuff in the future as we kind of play around with it and really figure out what's going to work and what doesn't. But I think that this is going to kind of help shape the outsides of the room from this kind of vertical view. Yeah, so now it kind of looks like it's got the like the barn roof kind of style. It needs some orange though, so I don't know how I'm going to implement that. It's very dark up here and it's very orange down here. So if I can figure out how to get orange on the ceiling somehow, which sounds really stupid, but if I can work that out, that might make this look a little bit better. Either way, we're going to go ahead and end this video right here because we have already extended way beyond what we were supposed to, and this turned into a much bigger project than I wanted to. I originally started all this because I wanted to do this building episode for our coal plant, which I completely got sidetracked and I'm still trying to fix this. So we're going to probably have like one more little half episode where we put together the rest of the screws and the iron rods and then do our assemblers up top, which I don't know where we're going to find space to do that. If we're going to keep traveling vertically or if we're going to do some stuff on the side down here. But got some options. We're going to work it out. We're going to figure it out. If you guys want to figure out where we go with all this, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe down below. Tell me that you like the video. I do a fairly good job. I would say I'm like I got an 85% chance that I will respond to almost any comment. So all good. If you like the series, make sure you subscribe to follow it. I hope you guys have a great day, and we will be back with more uploads very shortly. Ha! Psych, you thought I was done. I figured it out like immediately after I was looking at it. So all I did here was I wedged foundation ones, just clipped them right into these inverted ramps, and that kind of gave you a little bit of a lip here. So now you've got even extra shape on the ceiling, and now when you walk in here, there's a lot going on. Especially once we get the machines going and this stuff is moving. Oh, buddy, this is going to look amazing. All right, for real this time. Have a good one.